I'm just starting the show now. So, people, welcome once more to Njenje Media TV. My name is Mazes, okay, and thank you for joining us today. And in joining us, we're going to be reviewing some things. One of the things we're going to be reviewing is the death of a Nigerian lady. That death is one death too many. She was in a BRT bus, the Lagos State bus, and sadly, she lost her life in that bus. I will play us and I will show to us there are a lot of things that are suspicious in that murder. And also in Kebbi, yesterday, over 100 people like you and I lost their life. Their crime that they are Nigerians. That vigilantes gone after bandits. In retaliation, bandits came back and killed villagers. I will play us some video. I hope YouTube would not flag this video, so stay tuned. But let's rewind a little bit back. Let's rewind back and start from the from the first case here, which is the court today in Abuja sacked the governor of Ebonyi State. The All Progressive, I nearly said the All Progressive Confidence. The All Progressive Congress Ebonyi State chapter, after this has happened, reacted to the news, saying that the Tuesday, that is today's judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which sacked Governor Dave Umahi and his deputy Kelechi Igwe from office, is not, do you say valid? What did they say? They said that the court is biased after it ruled that Dave Umahi and his deputy were to be sacked from office following their defection from People's Democratic Party to the APC. Now, but people, let us look at this sacking actually. Many of you, because when I read it the first time, I thought, does it mean immediately the Ebonyi State will no longer have governor? No, it does not work that way. It appears what is going to happen is the state is going to appeal. So any of you panicking that Ebonyi State is not going to have a governor or that someone else is going to be sworn in, according to the news, it says Ebonyi State is going, that Dave Umahi will still remain the governor of Ebonyi State. Obviously, that is the case hasn't gone to appeal. That's a federal high court in Abuja. Therefore, the case will still go in appeal. And if case goes in appeal, well, the government has, give or take, 10 months to go. We're in the third month. By next year, January, governance is done. It's only campaign and handover, as we see it in Anambra State since November last year, or even since October last year, or even since July last year. There is nothing like governance again in Anambra State until now. That's why you can see that insecurity has gone into the bush, removed cloth, came to the street naked, threatening, and doing a lot of things to us. A lot of madness is also happening in the Southeast. But let's come back to the issue at hand. Now, this is what PDP had to say regarding these court case. Listen up.
I'll be brief and straight to the point. It follows the sacking from the office of the State Governor, His Excellency Chief David Umahi, and his deputy, His Excellency Chief Kelechi Igwe, by a federal high court for defecting to the ruling for Progressive Congress. In the same ruling, the court presided over by Justice Inyang Eko also sacked 17 members of the Ebonyi State House of Assembly defected with the governor and the deputy to the APC. We will recall that Governor Umahi, deputy, and the 17 lawmakers were elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party in 2015 and again in 2019, were defected to the APC on November 17, 2020, citing, in quotes, injustice done to the Southeast, and determined to reclaim our stolen mandates. The PDP have used them, have sued them, and joined both the APC and INEC in this. We have prayed the court to declare that by defecting from the PDP, on whose platform they were sponsored and elected, Umahi, Igwe, and 17.
Okay, people, let's, you've gotten the gist of why the court, quote unquote, sacked him. Now, on this table, as I've said in many forums in the afternoon, on this table, you have a lot of people standing on this table. If this table is to be broken, a lot of people will come down. On this table, you have someone like the Cross River Governor, Ayade. Ayade is standing on this table. On this table, you have someone like the Zamfara State Governor. He's standing tall on this table. So if this table ever breaks, this table is going to take a lot of people down. However, Umahi himself, the governor of Ebonyi State, His Excellency Governor Dave Umahi, has reacted to this himself. In his reaction, he called this sack for want of a better word, he described the judgment of Justice Inyang Ekwo as a sham, accused him of doing a hatchet job for the PDP, and he said that he remains the governor of Ebonyi State. And in remaining the governor of Ebonyi State, that person, like I said before, it means there is no vacancy in Ebonyi State, that Ebonyi State still remains under him. Now, let me quickly show us, again, because we say when you remove when you remove lies from the dog, you need to show it to the dog before the dog thinks you just had some pinch on that dog. So let me play was what the governor himself. Let me play to us what the governor said today. Now pay attention and listen attentively to what the governor himself said regarding the judgment this evening.
Regarding the judgment, it is null and void. There is a substitute judgment in the state, and it's also a judgment in the Ebonyi State. So we've chosen the one.
Listen, there is substituting judgment. You see, sometimes Nigeria, listen, I'm not a lawyer, but sometimes Nigeria can be so confusing. If there is a substituting judgment in Ebonyi and in Zamfara, so why go for more? So it means maybe if you have money, if you take me to court here and I don't win, well, I go somewhere. If I take you to court in New York and I don't win, I go to Alaska. If Alaska is too cold, I probably go to Texas. If Texas is too hot, maybe I will go to Washington, D.C. I mean, honestly, that's where it feels. Because the question that we begin to ask ourselves, what is the judgment of the other courts before this one? Is it right? I don't know. Listen.
We will not obey his ruling, we will obey the ruling of a competent court of equal level that says you cannot sue a governor. The sections of the Constitution are very clear.
So, obviously, what the governor has done here is to tell us which of these various Pay attention. Which of these various judgments that were older than the last one? Then the question that every mind, every sane person should be asking is, does this new judgment from the same court, does it then supersede the older ones? Now, Ebonyi State, I believe it's Ebonyi State APC, they wrote something that I find interesting. And if I'm able to open that page now, please join me in this journey. I would want you to help me together. Let us look at this, because I find this very, very interesting. And this is as follows. Let me see if I can bring this to the, to the screen. And this is as follows. Quickly, join me. And here is a judgment. Quickly, sorry. Let me share my screen here. And this is this. Okay, I'm there now. So let us go through this. Njenje Media published this earlier today, and this says, Umahi sack. What's the difference between a federal high court, Ebonyi, and the federal high court, Abuja? So let's go. This advert is for Zaza Room. So for those who want action in Zaza Room. If you want action in Zaza Room, it's a good product though. Okay, let's get serious now. Mazi, come back to life. So now look at what they've written. It says, no matter the backdoor approach, PDP can never smell government house. Pardon me. PDP can never smell government house in Ebonyi. Abusing a court process just to get judgment, whereas a court of same power has earlier passed delivered judgment on the same matter, can never work. On the purported claim of the sack, a federal high court in Ebonyi, which is of the same and equal jurisdiction, had on Monday, the 28th of February, passed a judgment sacking the application of the sacking the application for the sack of on the basis of lacking the merit, and furtherance argued that there is no provision in the Constitution that provides for defection as one of the grounds for the vacation or removal of person as governor or as a deputy governor. Now, if on the 28th, you know why I'm probably, you may be wondering, I'm trying to take a different approach. Let us reason like an informed people. If this argument stands, on the 28th, there is a court, the same high court, but this one now a high court in Ebonyi, the same equal. Or is it like in animal farms where they say, oh, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than the other? Is it that Nigeria is equal? A court in Ebonyi is less equal than a court in Abuja? Huh? Please, lawyers in the house, if you are watching me and you're a lawyer, please, let's be educated here. You keep, sometimes, pardon my ignorance, but, sometimes I think, I wish I can understand Nigeria sometimes, because these things doesn't make sense. Again, he says here, and he continues here. They cited certain judicial pronouncement on a similar matter, especially an appellant court leading to the victory of Abakaliki Division of the High Court on Monday the 28th, if not the purpose of distraction. That is, if PDP is not going to court to distract them, has PDP got any other thing to gain? Absolutely no. Instead of wailing, oh, now they are beginning to sound like Femi Adesina. No. Because, Femi Adesina is the one who coined the word, the willing wailers. If instead of wailing, they should go and appeal the earlier judgment that's delivered on the 28th. Now, you see where common sense, sometimes I think, that's where I think, instead of driving aeroplane in the judicial sector, Instead of driving an aeroplane, we must begin to look for competent pilots to be piloting this, because there should be a time either court cases are wasting our time, or court cases are just for mere emotional grandstanding, because it doesn't make sense. I agree with them. If you need to vacate this decision, please go back and do the needful first by appealing the judgment of the 28th by Justice Henry Joko of Abakaliki High Court. Or is it that the Abakaliki Federal High Court Abakaliki, is it less equal to the Federal High Court Abuja? You know, there are some people who I have seen online trying to bring in ethnic division to the conversation. I don't want to toe that line. I don't want to, you know, because when you look at it, the person that delivered the judgment in Abuja is a Southern. The person that delivered the judgment in Abakaliki are both Southerners. So those of you towing that line of ethnic, oh, is Abuja, is not, is this, please, can we come down from that? Let us come down and review and look at the issues. Again, and they conclude by saying that it is no doubt that the rising profile of Governor Dave Umahi. But there is an angle that is not here that I found out interesting. There is also an angle of 2023 presidency. You know, Nigeria is one thing I like about Nigeria is permutations. When things like this happen, you hear various versions. You will hear various versions of things. And Onyenim was saying, what do you expect with Malami as AGF? No. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know, because if you ask me, we should ban, if you, as a politician, you win your party, you win your ticket with this party, you should stick to it. But again, it has not only happened in Nigeria. Recall that in the United Kingdom, Chukwuma Umunna, who was, before Obama was leaving, many of you watching me from UK would understand what I'm saying. Chukwuma Umunna, or Chuka Umunna, as he is fondly being called by the British, was being fingered as the next person to take over from David Cameron, or as the leader of the Labour Party then. But what happened? Chukwuma Umunna somewhat developed a cold feet. He didn't go further. But the crisis in his party, or the misunderstanding in his party, got to a point that he left the party. Did he then lose his MP seat? You guys in the UK tell me. But I think the right thing that should be done is, let there be law saying that if you win your ticket on party A, if you leave party A, your seat is no more. Then, or as alternative, you can become an independent candidate and run as an independent candidate. I don't know, but yes, he defected to leave. No. I think it was Leave Them Onyenimo. Chukwumunna, did he go to Leave Them? Well, I think yes. Yes, you're right. I think he went to Leave Them. But when he left to Leave Them, did he lose his seat? That is the question. But again, it's not because if Britain got it wrong, therefore, because our own is, when you look at states, the way I call them, they're who are that they jump from one party to the other. I call them the jumpologists. I think I have a caller here. I'm not taking call yet, but I will do an exception and take call from this Obinna Ifacho. Obinna, you are on live with Mazes. Okay, good evening. Obinna Ifacho. Okay, sorry then. Okay, so we'll speak. I thought he was calling regarding this program. Okay, so like I said, people, That is it. That's on the political side. It's neither our decision, not your decision. There is nothing we can do. But let's come back to what affects you and I as citizens, and which is very simple. Over hundred of people like you and I were killed. What is their crime? Their crime is that they are Nigerians, not being protected by those who have sworn to protect their lives and their properties. They just died. They just died like that. Let me see if I can get the video quickly for us. I may have to skip the video because it is heartbreaking. So on this one, I will say, if you are not strong-hearted, at this point, you may close your eyes. If you're not strong-hearted, at this point, you may wish to close your eyes. Okay. Now, and these are our fellow students. Please, what I do not want us to, beforehand, what I don't want us to get into, people, watch this. I won't play the video, but these are our fellow citizens. These are human beings. These people are from Kebbi. One thing we do on this platform is when an injustice is done to one, it is an injustice to every one of us. When a life is lost in Abia State, Ogun State, Kebbi State, Zamfara State, all lives matter. This is too many deaths. Now, when you look at it here, these people are dead already. And I ask myself, I see no respect being accorded to the dead bodies. These are fellow citizens. Their crime, that they are Nigerians. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me. Their crime, sometimes it's speechless. And how did this happen? Story has it, if you go to njenjemedia.com, you will see the full story there. Story has it that the vigilante came together, pursued the invaders, went after them, destroyed some of them, and they eventually regrouped, probably when the community was not expecting them. They came back, they killed, they maimed the weak, the elderly, the vulnerable, and they destroyed lives. Then I ask myself, for how long shall this mass destruction continue? For how long? You go to the northeast, it's same story. You go to the northwest, same story. You come to the southwest, same story. You come to the southeast. Southeast, before May 2021, before May last year, was the most peaceful region in Nigeria. Today, Southeast has become like the Northeast. Lives are no longer valued. Nothing basically man to his own. Isn't that heartbreaking? That we have a president. We have a president that will sit down there and these things are happening. He pays no attention. Yesterday, 100 people died. You have your president in London. Just imagine for 1 second, this is, for Christ's sake, it's not a war time. Imagine where the country you're residing in, you're watching me from Dubai, from, I don't know, USA, Ireland, anywhere. Imagine. Sometimes I feel that Nigerians are also as citizens, it appears we are also, kind of immune. We are no longer outraged. We are no longer outraged by all these things. Imagine, I can't fathom it. 100 people. The same way, if you come to Imo State today, there is something. And mine is I say things the way my conscience, when my head analyzes it, I see it and I say them the way I see it. When you come down to Imo State, you see houses, people's houses being burnt. Some, most times, the security agents are being accused as those behind the burning. Sometimes groups of agitators are accusing one another as burning the houses that belong to their opponent. And I'm like, Jesus, how come we've allowed ourselves to really, maybe hatred or whatever, to have gotten to this level? And where is government in all this? What the Nigerian citizens are basically asking is very simple. Who cares who does all this? Apprehend them, deal with them speedily, timely, and openly. That's all. It doesn't matter. Life is lost in Lagos, Kogi, Eda, Ibadan, Anambra, Kaduna, Sokoto. Can you apprehend them, deal with them openly, transparently, timely, with alacrity? Can you do that? But it appears the simple thing that government, says it should do, or what the government ought to be doing, is what government is not doing. Because on so many times here, why this is so sad is, if you bring the president now, ask him with his own mouth, he said it that the government has failed in its principal duty of protecting lives and property. With his own mouth, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria says it, that the government has failed in protecting lives and properties. In doubt, Buhari,
the government has failed to do its principal duty of protecting life or property of all beings inside its territory in Nigeria.
Now, if the government has failed in your words, Buhari, the government has failed to do its principal duty of protecting lives and properties. If you have failed, that means when a salt loses its salt, it no longer has any value. Therefore, Mr. President, will you do the needful? If you, by your own admission and by your own words, saying you have failed in protecting the lives of Nigeria in the northeast, in the northwest, in the southeast, in the southwest, in the north central, and in the south. Lives has become so cheap. Criminals roaming about everywhere. Today, people run to criminals to seek succor. What manner of insanity is that? There are areas in the north, especially northeast, to be precise, that people now pay money, protection money, to criminals to protect them. You think it's far-fetched? In the southeast, there are communities, especially in Anambra today, that people are doing the same thing. So don't jubilate, don't think, oh, it is not. No, in the southeast. These things sometimes I keep asking, are those who have asked us to vote for them that they will provide leadership? Is there any other way of saying, boy, you have failed? And we look at them in the eyes and say, you have failed us. And so it is. They have failed us. They have failed us. Life is virtually meaningless. That brings me to the next topic of the young lady killed in Lagos. What was her crime too? If you don't know, if you haven't heard about the story, let me quickly rewind a little bit and tell you the full story. The story has it that this young lady, on the fateful day, was in a BRT bus. She was heading home, and at some point, she felt a little bit uneasy. Right? Can you guys see me? So she felt a little bit uneasy. And she started sending voice notes, videos to her friends saying, you get at this bus, the driver and everyone, I'm suspecting them. What then happened? Suddenly, the mom, let me see if in the video, the mom, raised the alarm. The mom was the first person that raised the alarm. Let me quickly do this. The mom raised an alarm saying, I can't find my daughter. The mom was the first person to raise an alarm. I can't find my daughter. She went to the BRT. The bus was parked there. Her daughter, nowhere to be found. The driver, vamoose. Begin to think about it. If you're a bus driver, you go to your terminal, you drop your bus. You don't run away, isn't it? You don't run away. If you're how do I put it? If you have nothing to hide, isn't it? You don't run away. But sadly, this bus driver in question ran away. Let me bring out her picture here. The bus driver in question ran away. Quickly, let me bring her picture. When the bus driver, the story got so interesting, though sadly not necessarily interesting in a good way, but the story is that the moment the driver ran away, look at her, a very young lady full of life. It could be any of our daughters, it could be any of our, sisters and siblings. But why would she die? Because she's in a country, a BRT that buses ought to have CCTV. But as we speak now, Lagos State government made an announcement, they're going to look into probe this, that, yet. And I'm like, people that can probe Lekki massacre. Maybe we need Dictator Fashola to go to BRT and maybe discover a camera that is hidden there. But if you cannot get anything on, if no hope was on NSAS, is it here, this young, beautiful girl, you will end? And then there was the last picture sent out, or rather her picture was sent out, her dead body found in the Kata Bridge in Lagos. Eventually, the driver was apprehended, and the driver had the following to say. Stay tuned. You hear what the driver said. And at that point, I began to analyze what the driver said. It struck me that we are indeed a sick nation. There are many things wrong with that video and the statement by the driver. Once more, my name is Bamise Ayanwole. This is Njenje Media TV. If you're joining me for the first time, please like and subscribe these for and on this platform. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you haven't done so, please like, share, and subscribe. Now, let me get back to this. Now, on this video, we will see this driver say the following. I'm not saying that the driver is the one who's committed the crime.
When those guys
But, but, I am not saying he committed this crime. Let me put my thoughts in sequence. First, I find the interview a little bit absurd. You know why? Why was TVC, some of you call it Tinubu television, why did they get exclusive to this man? Why were they the only people that interviewed this man? Why did they put out this clip after interviewing this man? That is the first alarm bell. Normally, if you recall, the young lady that killed, I think someone, Juku or whatever, that killed stabbed one guy, the TV star then, whenever that lady was interviewed, you see not less than 30 journalists, print and media, and print and electronic. But here, exclusivity granted to TVC. Alarm bell number 1. 2. And say, I'll play that for you.
why did I run, sir?
They asked him, why did you run? Question is, are there any, wouldn't you ask him so many questions if you had wanted to push something out, to push the right narrative out? I would not cut out only this part too, because cutting out only this part to push out means, in my estimation, is a psychological way of changing the narrative, right? And the man responded, let me assume I'm saying, Oga, why did you run? Now listen to him.
When those guys showed me the weapon, as I was saying, sir.
So it means they say when the occupants in that vehicle showed him their weapons, that means they were armed, right?
I was I can't be myself anymore. Years are coming. So whatever the man I'm going to sit down there, whatever he tell me, is what I do. When I follow that Carter Bridge, after that overhead bridge, they order me to stop there. And when they order me to stop, so I should open the door. When I open the door, then the next track, when they come down, they now start dragging now.
Look, an adult, a driver. Imagine that was your daughter. They put you gun, say open door. You open door. They started dragging and they asked you to drive off. And this is what the man said.
Then, when I saw she was crying for help, actually I'm helpless. So I was just thinking that she's inside the vehicle holding the iron. So I move on.
So you left her there?
That's just the truth, sir.
You left
Because
her
I left her at that scene. I never knew that they dragged her down already.
What is the connection between you and those 3 guys that picked up?
I have no connection with, it's just a person. I have no connection with any one of them.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, as a TV station, the only exclusivity you publish is this. Let us be fair. Let us apply our analytical sense here. You think I have to believe them? That everything is right? This man, an adult, he was shown a gun. They say stopped. So they say stop, and he stopped. And, I was thinking she was holding iron. So if she was holding iron and you drove off, was your intention, if she was holding iron, to be dragging her like Agu Ironsi before he was eventually killed on the road, on an expressway? Now, the question that bugs me is that this man here, rather than report to the police, because that's okay, granted, Oga, you're innocent. But if truly you were innocent, any right-thinking person in that panic, there is no way in Lagos, we are talking about Lagos, you will not see police checkpoint before you get to your point. You didn't see police checkpoint. You got to the BRT station. You didn't see nobody there. You made no entry. You didn't tell your manager. You didn't call no one. You didn't go to the police station. You didn't go to the Mopo. You didn't go to Lashma. You talked to no one, and bazaar, you went to your village. Guy. Oh, in this time, in this, I think the only person that can speak to you in a language you would understand is maybe Asari Dakubo.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind.
Okay, they have left you. How can you leave a young girl? You know, for her dignity, I wouldn't show her picture. Now, for correction here, when it was reported that her body was found, many people have been saying, "Oh, her body was mutilated. It was ritual, whatever." No, the pictures that we have, her body, no, any of her body parts, not the breast, not the private part, nothing was mutilated. That then leaves me to ask question that if Nigeria and a nation, by now, the man, all the clothes he has worn forensically should be been tested, his private part, his hands, his nail, his, every part of his body would have been DNA tested now to see if there is any link to this girl. Because as a driver, you have your box carved out. Therefore, it is not expected that you have anything to do with your passenger. But hey, are we talking about another country? No, we are talking about Nigeria. We are talking about a country where nothing makes sense. You will leave a young girl. Why should I even, anyway, before I get sued, I will say allegedly, allegedly Neo, but try at all. Try at all. Try. How can you? My mind is telling me that this has nothing, because obviously, as her body was still intact, there was no sign of mutilation. It shows me that this was nothing but a sexual crime. I believe allegedly that this man knows what happened to that girl in the bus. There is another video. When this is a BRT bus. Imagine now you watching me, you are in New York, you are in Germany, you are in Turkey, you are in Dubai. A bus in Dubai, in Turkey, in Germany, in UK, in Ghana, riding, government proper bus, riding at night. No light. That is a no-no now. How can you enter bus? You want to enter London bus, there is no light. No be juju be that. But the girl, because she was apprehensive, she was audio, she was making videos. Let me see if I can find quickly her videos. Let me quickly see if I can find. There is a video that she made. Oh, pardon me on that. What's her name again? There is a video where she was honestly. I mean, the worst part is that she kind of knew that that was coming her way. She kind of knew, because for the fact that she was making that video, sending that video, telling the friend, this is happening or this is happening or until nothing anymore was, okay, I found the video, sorry. Let me quickly share that video now. I found, just pardon me, the video is coming now. And, I don't know, the man must be sick. I know, the video is coming up quickly. Just hold tight. Okay. So that I would use this video to explain something to us. Okay. So where are you, video? Look at this now. Right? Look at this. Let me use this video to explain something. to us. Now, for those of you who can understand Yoruba, this is what she was then saying. That's inside the bus. On the left here, you can see on that white background, on the right is her, and on the beneath that where you have the piece cart is the Leyland vehicle that she boarded. But if you look at this, how can it be so dark?
Èèyàn pátápátá ni màmá jókòó sí ẹ̀yìn ni mo wà ló wà lẹ́yìn. Orí driver yẹn ló ń wúlò gbọ́nàgbọ́nàgbọ́nàgbọ́n ẹ̀ tó ti rí orúkọ bóyá nọ́mbà bóyá ọtí ẹni lẹ́yìn ìlú. Ṣáàbà fàbúrà ẹ̀sìn wà lọ́kọ̀ mi ò balẹ̀ mọ́. Má sọ fẹ́ níbodì pé mo mọ̀ sí ìlú Masáré lọ fún yẹn bá ti rí ọmọ àwọn fi ìṣe mi ṣe yẹyẹ tí kò bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣáàrẹ̀ o.
So now ask yourself, why, if everything was all right, bear in mind, BRT buses are not Molua. These are well-equipped buses. I think Kemi Olulayo, whatever, said that she contacted the company that supplied these buses and they confirmed that there were CCTV. Now, it behoves on all of us to join together to demand that justice be done, that these, if there is any CCTV in this bus, the Lagos State must provide that. Well, some of you will argue, the one in Tollgate, have they provided it? But here is another crime. If not, many people stopped using Molue or using Danfo, thinking BRT is safer. But if this thing happens like this, and you kind of begin to see immediately there appears to be some form of cover-up, and you ask yourself, who is covering who? And why? And for what? Who is covering who? Why? And for what? That is a very important question that we must ask ourselves. I'm just looking at, I'm just looking at her dead body here. Her dead body just, listen, people can be so heartless. Just let the young lady die on the street like that. That's it. And you just maybe, zoomed off or whatever. This is unbelievable that this can be happening in Nigeria. Now, I'll conclude with the following, because to tell you that this place, everybody don't craze, everybody don't craze. In the same Lagos, Center of Excellence. Center of Excellence. Make me laugh. Center of Excellence. In the same Lagos, a tanker conveying groundnut oil failed, right? A tanker conveying groundnut oil failed. What happened? The people, like the way they go and scoop fuel, the people went to scoop the product. And I can tell you that you go to market tomorrow, you will see that scooped fuel from the floor. You will see it in the market. And there are things you see in Nigeria sometimes, and the number of people scooping the fuel, it's actually something that will give you a headache, because it's not like it's one person or two people, it's just that the madness. Everybody comes out with a scooper. They just scooping the thing, just like madness everywhere. What?
Don't even try.
Look.
That you want to buy Ororo along the Yanova. You are eating poison, I tell you. The trailer fell, and look at what Nigerians are doing. Look at what people are doing. At the end of the day, they will come and sell it to you. Look at it. Last word, George, very close to Lagos State University. I'm just coming back from class. Just coming from school. Look at, see, can you see? You see? Can you see? Can you see? So, can you see? Gafara, Dala. Gafara. Can you see? Can you see? Look at this. Buy it, you are definitely eating poison. Buy it, eating poison. Look at it. This fertilizer on the ground. Look at it. Nigerians, Lagosians. You see? You see? Can you see what you're You see it?
Now, pause for a moment. Think about this. Suddenly, this oil catches fire. Who's going to blame God? Ah, God, why? God, why? Everybody will be shouting like mad people. God, why? God is in his house, soaking gari for the evening. And we are here in Nigeria, mad people, asking him to do something. Allow the man to soak his evening gari in peace. He won't, because of your own mumunes. Look at it. Now, what you see here is failure in all levels. Failure by the government, because if that was to be in any sane country, the traffic police, they have a section, their job is to deal with such. They will come in with something that looks like a sawdust, pour it, and soak out those oil from the road. The people, that road ought to be cordoned off. Failure number 2. When a vehicle conveying such moves, when it fails, if it has the right lead tightened, secured, it wouldn't crack open. But here, we have deltas, we have welders who are virtually illiterate. All they need is just go and bring a tanker, weld it, put it on top of something, and it carries, as long as it doesn't fall, it's working. But nobody understands the physics. There was the physics of, or the mechanism of why anything that carries any inflammable ought to be sealed differently. There was a time Senator Ifeanyi moved a motion in the House for every tanker conveying petrol and such or liquefied product to have such, ensure that they have such seal. It does not such seal and valve. Because if it's other places, it can fall. Maybe depending on how it landed, it can crack, but not just to empty everything that it has. Now, on the level of regulation, those that ought to have regulated the vehicle themselves has failed. The government have failed. The owners and the proprietors, the owners of those vehicles have failed. Police have failed. They failed you. Everybody failed you. Now Nigerians are failing themselves too. Not only that, they are failing themselves, because the problem hasn't stopped there. 1, we are damaging the ecology, the ecosystem by this level of oil. Many of you don't know that you get fined if you ever leave the abroad and you're driving a car that drops oil. You park your car, police comes, see that your car is dropping oil. Okay? Now ticket, and if car is not taken, they will tow your car. Why? Because no oil should drop on the floor. But here in Nigeria, a whole tanker emptied on the street, and Nigerians are now want to go and get free oil to cook. If this thing catches fire now, see all of them, people will be roasting like you know, that time Obi Kubana buried his mom, like cow suya, the one they roll. Everybody, when this thing, people will be roasting. Oh, people will just put their hand on the head. Hey, oh God, oh Chineke, Oluwa, oh God, help, oh God, help. Oh, thank God, man is not God. If I hear you pray that kind of useless prayer from heaven, leave the gariwa, the soak with my, God likes, I think God likes kunu like me and palm wine too. Just disturb me with where they do drink my evening palm wine. Now from heaven, I go use koboko wire all of them. Because you are very mumu-ish people. Look at it. People scooping oil to go and do what? Look at the number of people. Maybe over 300 people scooping. A whole community came out scooping. Jesus. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there is a reason that God doesn't. I think God has actually gone on holiday when it comes to Nigerian matters. He no longer cares. Why should he care? He gave you everything. He gave you oil. He gave you oil. Idiots. You can't repeat. Mumu people, you can't refine your own oil. We have somebody, Minister of petroleum. Petroleum. We have petroleum, but we are not going to face subsidy. If you face subsidy, it's a corruption. But now we face subsidy. Upon paying the subsidy, you don't have fuel. Somebody will go and import fuel that will knock your car, bring it in. Tell me up to you today, you have a cent as Minister of Petroleum, yet not a single person has been punished. Why won't you people get angry? Why wouldn't people get angry? Is it just a land of mad people? Jesus Christ. Subsidy is corruption. Anybody we pay a subsidy is corruption. You think I'm kidding? Don't let me bring him here. Let him tell us how subsidy is corruption. Let me actually bring him. Baba, come and tell us. By the way, subsidy is corruption, isn't it? But what are we saying? What do we see now? Subsidy is no longer corruption, but yet we have others warming up, warming up to take over. They are warming up, warming up to take over. Where you have young people, is only this one, Kumasev. They will ask, where you go start? Are you going to start where the army will tell you that somebody who is an ex-Boko Haram will become president? Where are you going to start? You see, na attack on they do, I know what happen. I know, sorry, Mokpa, kilo happen. Don't worry, people. As long as you hear me, don't worry. Kilo happen. Mokpa. Siam, can you hear me? Don't worry, I'll bring them back. Don't worry. Them, they know, we know they like truth. You know, if na hack, you won't hack me today. Na lie, you know, if it hack me. Kagani, you know, if it hack me. If na hack. So, like I was saying, people, no matter, let's see if we can, you see, Nigeria, sometimes, maybe, if it's a coincidence, I don't know. But not only when you go to talk something, we're going to hammer some sense into some people. At that time, everything will come they misbehave. So if everything they misbehave, you go come tell me say it just happen like that. Forget. We know. See one thing. We know rain where fall, and we know rain where they carry baskets go they sprinkle. You know. So see. I mean, sometimes, people, sometimes when you look at all these things, you just get angry. Okay, youth, youth, come and be president. Now suddenly we have people, all the elders council. There are people that are supposed to be, what their job now should be, taking their grandchildren to McDonald's. Now everybody wants to be president now, isn't it? Suddenly, a nation that imagine, put it this way. Maybe it will make sense to all of us. Put it this way.
If anybody
Put it this way. You have cocoa plantation. Cocoa plantation. The only thing they do is they produce the cocoa. People will give you chocolate. Let's say that one no. You have oil. You can't. You have yam. The whole area na yam. Your mumu no reach so make you know what you could do with that yam. But you go to China, go other countries, import same yam to eat. Here, I said it before, a president tells us, yeah, subsidy, go and get those people, let them tell me what is subsidy. Some of you will say, hey, Maz, you're taking it out of context. That's not what he said. Please, come on here and tell me contest me. Tell me out of what before about that before.
If anybody said he is subsidizing anything, he is a fraud.
Okay, no be you talking. If anybody says he's subsidizing anything, he's a fraud. So by mere simple analysis, Buhari, you are subsidizing something. So what are you? Guam. Aya. If Buhari says if anybody is subsidizing anything, he's a fraud. Now Buhari is subsidizing fuel. People, tell me in the comment section, what is Buhari then? What is Buhari? If anybody says he's subsidizing anything, he's a fraud. Now Buhari is subsidizing fuel. Please, I am Olodo. Tell me, what is Buhari?
So all these people talking about subsidy, who is subsidizing?
No, we are subsidizing America.
But there is so much fraud, as I said, and indiscipline and corruption that I don't talk about it. But
Oga, hold on. Let's talk about it. There is so much fraud and corruption. Kagani, talk. Make we the talk.
Yeah, I have to talk about it. I will ask the petroleum economists to come and tell me who is subsidizing Nigerians.
Ogani, you are now the petroleum minister for 7 years. 7 good years. So, Kagani, tell us, who is subsidizing who then?
Nigerian oil. Whose oil is it? We had 4 refineries.
Oh, I can count over. Daya, View, Uku. Waiting be that the next one, poor. We have poor refinery. Poor refinery. But we cannot refine anything. Suddenly, our brains, they use and do akara. All of us, we are only waiting for Aliko Ajasko Dangote to finish his own refinery. But
with the capacity of 480,000 barrels a day. Let's see if they are because of corruption, they have virtually allowed those refineries, to become so inefficient that I don't think they produce half their capacity.
Okay, because of corruption. You see? Because of corruption. Everything is not working. Oh, I like her. Watching everybody, acquire corruption. Acquire corruption.
Now, instead of taking the balance of what to be refined outside, as we used to, when there's a turnaround maintenance when I was in the trailer, hardly Nigerians know.
Babani, if we never make you president, every day we go wake up some people, some idiots. I will come. I say, Kai, if Baba was the president, by now everybody I would stand sentry like a chicken where you don't go chicken republic. If we make this man president, but no, we don't make you president. We don't say waiting. Everybody, when they confirm, they tell us going from tough to bottom. We never understand it, Kagani, because we don't get the brain. No brain, no sense. Bad sense. When they tell us this, it will be in a rough ride. Nobody. You see, nobody know waiting at the talk at that time. They tell us, if you see top to bottom, nobody know. But now, sense it don't come. Sense small, our sense it pretty come back because our sense be like a bicycle where it go. It be like something I do like this, I do
Our
like
economic
this.
is doing like this. It's doing like this. It's blinking, shaking. So
if it blink, it shake. It blink, it shake. But we never understanding everything until when it tell us, when it say, if I give me my vote, I go take me from top to bottom. We never understanding me. If he give me my vote, I will take me.
APC from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom.
See, top to bottom is they tell us, all of us, na mumu we be. We never know. Top to bottom. We never see top to bottom. Suddenly, everybody they run, they go. Everybody they go away. They go. Even if Odumeje is telling me they go Australia, Alia, whatever they go, it good. Now what in Odumeje are they telling me?
Nigeria. This is your dream.
Amen.
I saw you want to enter Australia.
Australia, yes, sir.
Australia.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, Bodom. You want to enter Australia?
Yes, sir.
Australia is an Australia. They are the same.
So who want to follow me to enter Australia? Kai Buhari make I the laugh. You gaga. I tell you, people say you go from top to bottom. You never understand.
APC from top to bottom.
You never understand it, bro.
Top to bottom.
You never understand it, bro.
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom. Our eye go open it. When it don't go from top to bottom, our eye go open it. Me kagani, I go in a that man. See, now proudly, I am a very dirty person. If they go from top to bottom, me I don't do bottom. From day one, I day bottom. If they come from top, I go they look me. If they want make I the land, I go shift. You go land the kakaraka because you never there for bottom before. But to me, you don't burn me for bottom. Go I there for bottom, conceive for bottom. You never go anywhere for this bottom because this bottom na my place. Bottom na my place. From top to bottom. From top to bottom. Kai. Our economy is going to do like this. Don't worry. This evening, if they say the video is a miss, because Charlie, what do they call him? What do they call this man? Asari Dakubod, you know that Bambani, that big military, you know that one they like to put to knock out for 5 line. They like to put to knock out for 5 line because if you no agree. So if they say Nigerians, all of you na 70-year-old be na mumu be.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. I am mumu na too much. You be mumu.
They tear gas them, so they don't tear gas us. You get it. If you don't get it, forget about it.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about
it. So if you don't get it, forget about it. But those who put us for this place, I would tell you every time you like it. If you go for river skate, you go ask that man where they there. That man where I talk me for too much, the plan governor. You go ask him, you go tell him, say, if it's something in a day here.
If you don't know what to do with your head, you don't know what to do with your head. If you didn't dare, you didn't dare. You didn't dare.
See, if everything they tell you from top to bottom, you never understanding because something is not here, you know that.
APC from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom.
So from top to bottom, everybody they rejoice. Top to bottom, ni top to bottom, ni top. I don't finish. Now so they telling me I don't finish. For today, I don't finish. You never talk anything again. I don't finish. So I will tell me, say, go good night, everybody. Make it a go sleep. For those of you that you vote me for 2015, say you don't vote, you don't have it, the happiness more. Me, the happiness more. The only thing like people they die too much. Kagani, everybody they die. I don't like them. Buhari, everybody they die. But some people, the happiness more. And that note, I tell you, say go good night, everybody. Ipi Igbo ide call Kasipo ni, because that time they come from Igbo, they go Amuahe, they go Akigwe, they go Anisa, they go Ibada, they go Lagos, they go Sakoto, they go everywhere. But this one, they don't vote me. They say, "Top Madala Kasipo MSiane, everybody, bye bye ini."
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm happiness, I'm voted, yeah.
Tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we're happiness more. Isn't it? So then please, I want to beg them. We suffer almost 10 hours. We are standing because of what you want. We need.
So you stay there. I think you don't go. We never want go. Okay, if you never want go, make it a subscribe. You want to make it go call God where he there for upstairs. If he God he best, I will leave the Gari where he do like a Basanjani where they show me for Gari. Fit is laughing me. So you don't subscribe me. I don't subscribe. So if I don't subscribe, make I show like a button. How many people? For more than 300 people either watch this thing. Only 30 people. You don't click the like button. Kai. You people, you want to make me either come from the top to the bottom.
APC from top to bottom.
Click the like button.
Top to bottom.
Anyway, everyone, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much indeed.
The only way to survive is that we need to make ourselves happy. If you look at what is happening on the political spheres, people waiting to happen. Ugo, all that. Join me on Friday. I will be having a conversation with Dr. Lon Mefon on the Anambra Transition Committee on what they have done and the things we will be expecting. Recall that on Sunday, we did have a conversation on the Twitter space with Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. It was very enlightening to know and to understand the whole thing that they've done within Anambra State. Join me again on Saturday. I will be having a conversation with Omoyele Sowore. The conversation will span on his current restrictions within and within Abuja, how federal government has been treating him, his case with Ned Nwoko, I think he's called Ned Nwoko, and all the maltreatment given to him for the past 3 years almost. He hasn't seen his lovely family. You are free to come in and ask questions. It's going to be an interesting conversation. What we do here, we will keep deepening the conversation for better understanding, no matter what. Yes, I do understand that Nigeria isn't what we bargained for, but against all odds, we will and we must continue to engage. It is always better to judge than to war. At the end of the day, even when you've killed yourself, you've gone to war, you come to the negotiating table to get peace. Then I ask, if the round table could ever give you peace, why then lose so many thousands of souls? On that note, I will say good night, everyone. I am still Mazi, okay? If you haven't subscribed to this platform, please kindly do. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or on YouTube. If you, depending on where you're watching me, I know many of you are watching from various. Some of you are watching on Twitch. Some of you are watching on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. It doesn't matter where you're watching us from. Please, by all means, subscribe. And personally, if you wish to follow me on my Twitter handle is at Mazi Ezoke with double A. Once more, good night and have a restful evening. Bye.